Hello, so I'm going to do a quick video about Dorian. This is one someone wanted me to do, right? So Dorian's probably way down here near my bottom because he's not a hero I actually use, right? But he's the vampire healer, right? He actually has like this blood mark with his ult that gives the whole team vampirism, right? He actually has this aura, right? So nearby allies get vampirism, right? If they're close to him, this actually works after death, so right wherever his body is after he dies, allies get that vampirism, right? This makes him an okay counter to like cleaver teams or sometimes twins teams, but not always, right? This is another like single target heal, right? Right, so this single target heal. This one heals himself, right? So he's a healer, but he doesn't do a lot of DPS, right? Probably his biggest downside is that his artifact buff is physical attack, which is the worst artifact buff in the game. For whatever reason, the magic attack buff is 32k, the armor buff is 32k, magic defense is 32k, armor pen is 32k, but physical attack only buffs 21k, and I'm really not sure why that is, because it makes the physical attack buff weaker, and there's two different types of mitigation buffs that can go against physical attack between armor and dodge, so, right, it's kind of an odd thing, and a lot of people talk about Dorian in the context of Orion Helios, which is a team that can't even use the physical attack buff, right? So you'll have like, right, and Dorian sits right between those two heroes most of the time, right? And then the other thing about Dorian is that because his vampirism aura is only a very small area, the heroes pretty much have to be adjacent to him to benefit from that. Like, so he ends up being very line dependent, like Nebula, right? I mean, he can be good, like, kind of as a counter to the twins, but he's really not that good inside the Orion Helios team, right? Even against the twins, right? So, like, right, so here's that team, right? Pretty standard with, like, Dorian, right? You have Sebastian, you have Aurora, right? Right, this would be, like, what you would run if you wanted to run Dorian, and I'm not convinced it's that good. Right, I'll just speed this up. Right, so I'm just not... Right, right, and it ends up being a total rout, right? The vampirism really didn't do enough to keep that team healed, especially against Celeste. Even though the twins bunched that whole team up, so they all got the vampirism aura, right? It just doesn't really add up, and like the physical attack buff's awkward, right? And he doesn't offer like any DPS on his own, so it's just really awkward. Like against Celeste though, right? Maya. This is Maya, right, against the Maya team, right? Instead of Dorian, it actually gets better results. One, Maya buffs magic defense, so that's actually strong versus the twins, but Maya also does a lot of DPS on her own, right? Like in this, with Maya instead of Dorian, you actually get a win there instead of a total rout, right? It's like, I mean, it's just, right, and you don't even really need a lot of healing. Like, it's just like, despite the heal, there's hardly any healing, but there was a lot more damage done, right? It's just one of those things. But the magic defense buff really slows down that twins team, right? And then of course there's Celeste, who I said in a recent video, Celeste is the best healer in the game, right? And what Celeste offers that the Dorian doesn't is that Celeste buffs magic attack, right? So magic attack buff 32k, like this is much better for the Helios Orion team, right? It's the magic attack buff, because they can actually benefit from that, right? There's magic attack, and you know, it just does a lot more damage, and right, and this is kind of why I just don't, Dorian I just feels like really overrated, right? Like I said, so that one loses, right? But Dorian can be good, like in conjunction, like in more of a physical attacking team, because he buffs physical attack. But really, though, mostly only as a counter to like the twins. Like, I'll sometimes lose to a team that runs Dorian, right? Like this one ran Dorian, right? And we can watch what happens here, right? Right, but he's running Maya, so there's the magic defense buff, but there is no Helios. He just cuts Helios for Maya, right? You see, they get bunched up, they get the vampirism, and then that's a route for me, right? And that's just, right, and there's another example, except so you end up having to run with Maya here. So this one also has Maya. So you or usually like that's pretty much the only time I see Dorian is like in combination with Maya. Right, and you know, like it's just pretty much only Sebastian's benefiting from the vampirism aura right here. Right, because Jude's too far up and Maya's way, way too far up, but right, and then they get bunched up. Right, and Jude goes, like Jude and Maya has that vampirism and just kind of go into clutch mode. Right, it's just, and Jude really just takes a while, but that Jude eventually gets me, because that vampirism is working here in this case, after the twins bunch them up. Jude and Maya are getting plenty of healing, right, and I can't really do anything, right, I'm getting some dodges, right, which is keeping my team up for now, but and then she dies, and then it's just, right, I said, it's just like, and then I die, like, so Aurora dies a really short time later, and it's just kind of, right, that's probably Dorian's best use, is kind of like in conjunction with Maya to counter the twins, but not really necessarily in an Orion team, right? I mean, if you're trying to build like an Orion Helios team, like just go Celeste. Like Celeste as well as heroes everyone should have anyway, right? She's the best healer in the game, and everyone should have Celeste, right? And I think she's definitely much better in the Helios Orion teams. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you for watching.